So, long ago, a clever rabbi lived in the city of Cordova, in the days when the emir of Cordova was willing for the Jewish people to live in his city. But the emir grew older and listened to evil advisors, and eventually he allowed his mind to be changed. So one day, the emir decided that the Jews must leave the city of Cordova, never to return. Now, but he did not wish the other inhabitants of the city to think him a cruel and heartless ruler, so he decided to make his command look like a test. Now, he announced, the Jews must prove their worthiness to live in our beautiful city. So, they must choose one from among their number to come to my palace and pass 3 tests. Only if that man can pass all 3 of my tests may the Jews stay. Now, the people who lived in the Jewish part of the city of Cordova were terrified to hear this edict. They didn't want to leave their homes and gardens, cows and donkeys, shops and farms. So they gathered together and elected the clever rabbi to go to the palace of the emir. The rabbi went to the palace with a heavy heart. For how can I save my people if the ruler is determined to throw us out? He sighed to himself. Our fate must be in the hands of God. And so he walked into the presence of the emir. The emir had determined to set 3 tests which no man could pass. So he said to the rabbi, your first test will determine how learned your people are. Tell me this, how many stars shine in the sky? 5,400,302, the rabbi answered promptly. The emir stared at the rabbi in disbelief, for he had been certain that no man could answer this question. How do you know such a thing? He stammered. The rabbi, I counted them, the rabbi said. If you don't believe me, count them yourself and tell me whether I'm right. The rabbi did not know what to say to this, so he cleared his throat and said, Very well. Very well. My second test will determine how wise your people are. Tell me this. What is the distance between the truth and a lie? Now, this question was more difficult than the rabbi had to think. So just as the emir was about to say, you Jews have to go out of my city, he said, I have it, the width of one hand. What? The emir said, puzzled. The truth is what you see with your own eyes, the emir explained. The rabbi explained, a lie is what someone else tells you, but which you cannot see, and thus the distance between your eyes and your ears is about one hand, so thus the distance between the truth and a lie must be the width of one hand. The rabbi stared in shock at the emir stared in shock at the emir. The emir stared in shock at the rabbi. Again, he said, very well. Now, you have 1 test left to pass. Now we will see how fortunate your people are. So he gestured to his servant, and the servant brought out a bowl, and in the bowl were 2 pieces of paper. On one piece of paper, the emir said, I have written the word stay. On the other, I have written go. Choose one piece of paper. Whichever you choose, you and your people must do as it says. Now, indeed, the emir was distressed, for he knew that as sure as the sun rises, that the emir had written the word go upon both pieces of paper. Whichever he chose, the Jews would be forced to leave Cordova. So he thrust his hand into the bowl, chose a piece of paper, and put it in his mouth. What are you doing? The emir said. Why are you chewing up the paper? It has the fate of your people on it. The rabbi just chewed and swallowed. Then, when the paper was safely inside his stomach, he smiled at the emir. Oh, mighty emir, he said. The paper I chose I have destroyed, but its other is still in the bowl. Then, the paper I chose I have destroyed, but its other is still in the bowl. Whatever it's in the bowl. Whichever piece whatever the piece in the bowl says, the, the I've chosen the other one. The Emir speech. Wait. Yeah. So the rabbi. So the Emir, speechless with amazement, unfolded the remaining piece of paper, and sure enough, it said "Go." So you see, the rabbi said, "The paper which I have chosen must have said stay." So the rabbi bowed, and having passed all 3 tests, left the palace. And the Emir, having been caught in his own trap, honored his word and let the Jews of Cordova stay in the city.